More often than not, those fantastic finishes were made possible by one or more of the brilliant mechanical geniuses who spiked the history of the Speedway every generation. People like Harry Miller, who designed the most precise, elegant race cars of anyone, anytime, anywhere. Miller pioneered aluminum pistons and blocks, intercooled superchargers, unusual carburetors, and streamlined designs.
Early on, it was definitely a proving ground for the manufacturers. That began to change, and then it became products that were tried out as racing became specialized. And Harry Miller from Los Angeles had nothing to do with the automobile industry. He built racing cars, complete engines, chassis, and the whole works. And his reward for success on the racetrack was to sell more racing cars.
In the early days, Harry Miller's engines were often up against cars powered by Duesenberg engines. The Duesenberg consumer cars were of such high quality that their name became synonymous with elegant perfection. The phrase, "It's a doozy," was coined to refer to anything that was the very best. Fred and Augie Duesenberg built their engines and custom cars in Indianapolis. Their race cars were in contention at the 500 from 1914 until well into the 30s, when private owners continued to enter them. Until the Depression and Fred's death in 1932 sank the company, Duesenbergs were the Rolls-Royces of America. Indy's merchants of speed have given the world improved aerodynamics, fuel injection, radial tires, breakaway body parts that protect the drivers, better suspension, and computerized ways to extract the last gasp of energy from explosions of fuel and air.
I don't think you could say that anything was invented at the Speedway, or if it wasn't for the Speedway or if it wasn't for racing, this wouldn't have happened or that wouldn't happen. But there was a lot of things that were perfected. No doubt tires, spark plugs, shock absorbers, four-wheel brakes, the low, wide profile tire later on, but all the way through the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, there was a lot of things were perfected at the racetrack.
Through the years, the Indy 500 race has seen designs that were deemed crazy. Some proved to be crazy like a fox. The first rear-engine car appeared at the Speedway in 1937, but it took until the mid-1960s until rear-engine cars became the standard at the Brickyard. On the theory that two is better than one, the 1946 Fajoule twin-coach entry driven by Paul Russo sported two midget Offenhauser engines, one in the front of the driver and one behind. Russo ran well enough to qualify the car in the middle of the front row that year. In 1964, Smokey Yunick entered the Hurst Floor Shift Special, a car where the driver sat in an appendage, like a sidecar. The car didn't make the race, which was probably good since the sidecar offered no protection in a crash. Many people are surprised to learn that a race car powered by a Cummins diesel engine not only made the race in 1931, but completed the 200 laps in 13th place without a single pit stop. Several other Cummins diesels made the race over the years, with Freddie Agabation surprising the entire field by winning the pole in 1952. It was equipped with the first turbocharger ever seen at the Speedway.